There comes a moment in life when everything around you is moving, and yet inside you feel completely still. It's not a peaceful kind of stillness. It's the stillness that weighs on your chest. The kind that makes you question if you're truly alive or just surviving. You wake up every day, maybe at the same time, follow the same routine, brush your teeth, get dressed, scroll through your phone, and step out into a world you've grown numb to, and no one notices. Not even you. Because this version of life has become your normal. You go through the motions like a machine, programmed by habits and fears. But deep inside, your soul is whispering, "Is this it? You are breathing, yes. But are you living?" Because there's a difference. Living is when you feel things deeply, when you laugh from your heart, when you cry without shame, when you look at the sky and remember how small you are and how limitless your purpose could be. Living is messy and real and beautiful. But many of us, we stopped living a long time ago. Somewhere between trying to please others and trying to fit into molds we never chose for ourselves, we forgot what it means to be us. You may not remember when it happened. Maybe it was after a heartbreak. Maybe it was after someone told you you weren't good enough. Maybe it was the constant pressure to perform, to impress, to look happy even when you were falling apart. Slowly, quietly, you started shrinking. You stopped raising your voice. You stopped dreaming out loud. You traded your purpose for approval. And you thought, "It's fine, I'll be okay." But days turned into months and months into years. And here you are now, still waiting for a sign, still waiting for the right time, still waiting to begin. But what if I told you this is your sign? That you don't need permission to wake up and reclaim your life. So many people spend their entire lives in a waiting room, waiting to feel ready, waiting for someone to choose them, waiting for the fear to go away, waiting for things to be perfect. But let me tell you something. Perfection is a lie, and fear doesn't go away. You learn to speak even when your voice shakes. You learn to show up even when your heart feels fragile. You learn to breathe through the discomfort and still take the next step. Because the longer you wait, the more time you waste. And isn't that the scariest part of all? Not failing, not rejection, but wasting the one life you were given, the one story only you can write, the one voice only you can use. So many people are asleep not because they're tired, but because they gave up on themselves. And no one told them they still had a choice. You have a choice. You can choose to wake up right now. Not tomorrow, not next month. Right now, you can choose to stop living for everyone else and start listening to your own soul. You can choose to leave the room where your light is not appreciated. You can choose to let go of the weight that's not yours to carry. You can choose to break the cycle of self-doubt and step into the truth of who you are. And I get it. It's not easy. Waking up means facing the pain. It means looking at the parts of yourself you've tried to avoid. It means asking hard questions. It means grieving the time you've lost. But it also means beginning again. It means seeing yourself clearly. It means giving yourself permission to change. You have dreams. You've buried under layers of fear and noise. You've told yourself they don't matter, but they do. That dream that keeps coming back to you, that vision that won't leave you alone, that thing you imagined doing if you weren't so scared, it's there for a reason. And if you don't pursue it, it will slowly eat away at your spirit. This world doesn't need more people pretending to be perfect. It needs people who are real, people who have fallen and risen, people who have scars and stories, people who are awake. You can't keep sleeping through your life hoping it'll all magically change one day. You can't keep handing your precious time to things and people that drain you. You can't keep saying yes when your heart is screaming no. Because every time you betray yourself to be accepted by someone else, you lose a piece of your truth. Wake up, look around, look within. This isn't a rehearsal. This is it. This is your life. And you, yes, you, are worthy of more than a numb existence. Start small if you have to. Just start.
Begin by noticing the things that bring you joy. Take 5 minutes to sit with your own thoughts. Write something, paint something, speak something. Ask yourself what you want, not what others expect of you. And slowly, moment by moment, you'll begin to feel again, to breathe deeply again, to see clearly again. The colors will return, the fire will return, the meaning will return, but only if you choose to stop drifting. Because your life is not a mistake, your existence is not random. You were created with intention, with love, with purpose, and there is still so much waiting for you. If you wake up, time is not infinite. We like to think it is, but it's not, and you don't want to reach the end of your life only to realize you never truly lived it. So I'll say it again, not with judgment, but with love. Wake up. You are wasting your life. But you don't have to anymore, not today, not anymore, absolutely. Here is part 2 expanded into a 1,000-word monologue in the same emotional, poetic, and empowering tone, designed to stir the heart and call the listener gently but firmly into action, healing, and purpose. Waking up is not just about opening your eyes to the world. It's about opening your heart to yourself. It's realizing that you've been asleep not just because of tiredness, but because somewhere along the way you stopped believing you were worthy of living a life that's full, deep, and meaningful. And I know, it hurts to realize that. It hurts to admit you've been existing rather than truly living. But that pain is not a punishment. It's a signal. It's your soul trying to get your attention. It's the gentle tap on the shoulder that says, "There's more for you." You see, you weren't made to live on autopilot. You weren't made to be numb, to stay silent, to stay hidden in a life that feels too small for your spirit. But rising requires courage, and courage doesn't mean you have to be fearless. Courage means you take one step, even when your hands are shaking and your knees feel weak. It means you begin again, even if your voice trembles and your heart is uncertain, because something inside of you knows this isn't all there is. You were meant for more than this, more than repeating yesterday, more than pretending everything is okay when it's not, more than smiling for the world while your soul feels empty inside. You were not meant to live in the shadows of your own life. And maybe no one told you that before. Maybe you grew up in a world that taught you to shrink, to be polite, to be agreeable, to be silent. Maybe you were taught that your dreams were too wild, too unrealistic, too much. But let me tell you something. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You're human. You've made mistakes. You've been through things you don't talk about. You carry pain that people don't see. But those things don't make you broken. They make you real. They make you human. They make you you. You are still here, and that means there is still time. Time to rise. Time to rewrite the story you thought was over. Time to become who you were always meant to be. Maybe the world doesn't see your worth yet. Maybe you've been overlooked, misunderstood, underestimated. But you don't need the world's permission to value yourself. Your worth isn't up for debate. You don't have to prove it. You don't have to beg for it. You just have to believe it, and believing it. That's where everything begins to shift. Because the moment you start believing that you matter, that your voice matters, that your story matters, that's the moment you begin to rise. It won't be instant, it won't be easy, but it will be real. You'll start to make different choices. You'll start to say no to what drains you and yes to what sets your soul on fire. You'll stop chasing people who don't see you and start honoring the person who stares back at you in the mirror. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll stumble, but through it all, you'll begin to remember who you really are, not the version of you that's been shaped by fear, not the version that's tried to be everything for everyone else, but the real you, the one who is strong and soft at the same time, the one who's been through storms but still stands, the one who dreams even when the world tells you to be realistic. This is not about becoming someone new. This is about returning to the person you were before the world told you who to be. It's about peeling away the layers of doubt, shame, comparison, and fear. It's about sitting with your pain instead of running from it. It's about holding your own hand and saying, "I've got you now." You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be honest with yourself. What do you want? What do you need? What is your soul asking for? Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's healing. Sometimes it's a dream you've buried under the weight of someday. But here's the truth. Someday is not promised. You don't know how many pages are left in your story, but you do know this one is still yours to write. So write it bravely. Write it in color. Write it with tears and laughter and truth. Stop editing yourself to make others comfortable. Stop apologizing for the fire inside you. Stop waiting for someone to come and rescue you. You are not helpless. You are powerful beyond what you've been taught to believe. Your past, it's not your prison. It's your teacher. It gave you strength. It gave you compassion. It gave you stories that will help others one day, if you're brave enough to share them. Don't let your scars shame you. Let them remind you that you survived. Let them remind you that pain doesn't get the final word. You do. You've been asleep long enough. You've dimmed your light long enough. You've played small long enough. Now it's time to rise. Not with perfection, but with intention. Time to rise. Not because everything is okay, but because you are no longer willing to stay where you don't belong. Time to rise. Not to prove anything, but to be everything you were created to be. You are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to speak your truth. You are allowed to live a life that feels like freedom, not a life that looks good on the outside, but leaves you empty within. So breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating in your chest. That's life. That's your life. And it's waiting for you to rise.